Hello, welcome to Radio Row in Phoenix for Super Bowl 57. On behalf of Caleb Bradham, I am Roy Kessel, and Sports Philanthropy Network is excited to be here live. Great guests all week, and now one of the most engaging, one of the most connected guests we'll have all week long, Mike Dempsey, NFL alumni from Carolina, and he's going to talk about the great work that he does as a player engagement rep down there. Mike, welcome to the show and thanks for joining us.
Appreciate being with you guys, and it's been nice to see you all week. I'm going to give a little plug. We spent the first day of the week in Monday at Towson Union High School in Phoenix with 500 plus. Roy and Kayla here did all the event planning. We had a great sponsor, that law firm. They were phenomenal, and just inspiring these kids was probably. You set the bar so high on Monday that every event now pales in comparison. Is when you can impact 500 plus students like that in one shot. That is something that I'm going to remember for the rest of my life. So thank you guys.
Thank you, Mike. And I think the thing about that, and I just said this with Chef Zimmern, the thing that really hits home for me, that is a Title I school. 8% of those kids qualify for free or reduced breakfast or lunch. So I appreciate your take on it. On our end at Sports Philanthropy Network, it's all about building stronger, healthier, and more inclusive communities. When we can get 10 professional, diverse athletes from all different leagues, men and women, coming out to inspire those kids, man, Mike, that's what it's all about. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Well, I'll tell you, you can tell by my accent. I'm from Brooklyn, New York, but I've been living in Raleigh, North Carolina for the last 18 years. Hard to believe. I like my Chick-fil-A and sweet tea, but I still can't say y'all yet. I'm working on it. But I've been privileged to work with a great leadership team down here in the NFL Alumni Carolinas chapter. Adrian Morrell's been our chapter president. He was a former star running back for the New York Jets, so and also the Arizona Cardinals, 2 Pro Bowl seasons here in 97, 98. Adrian is amazing, Hall of Fame caliber running back, and he's done such great leadership. We have Mike Delaney, we have Eugene Robinson, Donnell Wolford, just a great leadership team, and we're doing so much in the community in the Carolinas. In the last year or two, we have just exploded with all the support we do for Shriners for those kids. Took a tour in the hospital in Greenville, and I think I was changed forever when I saw some of the kids. Brandon Noblet, for example, who 8 years old and lost his leg, and just the being there and impacting Shriners and doing all. And we do our Queen City Classic golf outing for them. We had Lawrence Taylor. That's my buddy. I love LT, and he is the most humane, charitable person you could ever meet. And thanks to LT and some other alumni that came out to support the event, we raised a lot of money. And we do the same for ALS, for our ALS North Carolina chapter. As you guys know, Mongo McMichael, I think you know, he has been battling ALS for the last 2 years. He's been part of our Gridiron Greats family, dear friend of mine, besides being a four horseman with Ric Flair. And we are doing so much to support ALS in the North Carolina. Dave Shore is our CEO of that chapter. And got to continue to do great work and keep inspiring and keep impacting others.
Mike, you talked about the Shriners, and we just got back from the East West Shrine Bowl, which was over in Las Vegas, and it was incredible to see the impact that that game has made and the amount of money that they've been able to raise to support their efforts across the country. Um, I know you're involved with so many different groups. You rattled off a few, but as we follow your travels throughout the year, it's an enormous number of charity events that you're involved with, a number of different groups that you support is incredible. Talk a little bit about where you developed that passion from, because most people that we see, they find one pet cause and then that's kind of where they dedicate their efforts to. You've really been amazing at supporting just a very broad array of events and causes.
Well, it started from September 11th. My story, September 11th, working in the World Trade Center, injured that day, and started a whole path of philanthropy for me, working with the Cantor Fitzgerald Relief Fund. I'm in a 9/11 charity called the September 11th Education Trust. Just giving back 22 years this year of that, and just started to develop this passion. It kind of look, I have PTSD, post traumatic stress disorder, and it's a real thing. by giving back and helping others, immersing myself in paying it forward, it helped me. That was my therapy, was just getting immersed in charities. And the Cannon Fitzgerald Relief Fund, they do the same thing. So Cannon Fitzgerald, for your listeners, they lost all their employees on September 11th, 658. And every 9/11, they get back, they do a charity day event, and they reward charities. All the brokers donate their commissions to participating charities that have causes helping kids and other great stuff. And we've been doing that for 15 plus years. And Howard Lutnick, the CEO, and his sister Edie, they really got me. I was inspired by what they do, and I just try to continue to follow their lead, their example every year instead of commiserating on what happened to them on September 11th. They just pay it forward, turn a dark day in our nation's history into something very inspiring. So that really got me involved in getting more involved in sports philanthropy, because a lot of the guys I bring out to Cannon Fitzgerald are former athletes or people I've met in my past. So that's where I'm connected to all these different athletes, because the more they can give back and help others, hey, that makes me feel, that's my own therapy. And honestly, like we talk about mental health, that's something that I've been speaking a lot about this week. I've had a couple relapses with that. And so I was with Shea Hillenbrand. I think he was on your show yesterday. Shea is a former Red Sox legend who, we're doing a lot of stuff with connecting athletes with mental health issues and for peer support to help others. And I think we all need that. We got to find our helpers. And this peer support network is really growing.
Yeah, Mike, another thing that I'd like to just take a moment and just shout out. I respect you in so many ways, as you know, but your commitment to fatherhood shines, right?
Yeah.
And you have a daughter who is somewhere on a spectrum, just like me. I have a daughter who's somewhere on the spectrum.
Yep.
And you are intentionally focused on giving your daughter every chance not to be a victim, but to be a victor.
Yeah.
Cheerleading,
Mhm.
college
Yeah.
opportunities, everything like that. Do you mind just talking a little bit, if you don't mind, if it's not too personal, about fatherhood and what it takes to really go deep dive in? And you're great in the business
Yeah.
world, you're great in the philanthropic world, but there's a really important component that I don't think we can leave out, and that's what's dearest and closest to your heart.
Well,
Can we
being a
talk about
father,
fatherhood?
I got two beautiful daughters. One is going to be 21 in November, and Kelly has Asperger's. She's on a spectrum. Jenna's 18. I think she thinks she's 25. She's going to be going to UNC next year, and very independent. But Kelly has had being a father of somebody on the spectrum, IEP meetings. I can't tell you, I've never missed with all my travel. I've never missed an IEP meeting in 12 years. Been there every step of the way, but trying to show her she's got to be independent now, and she transitions into adulthood. Kelly has taken on what I have tried to teach her about giving back and paying it forward to others. She helps volunteers in Miracle League, and she helps others. And even the cheerleaders, they have a special dream team. Kelly's on competitive cheer, so she wants to be mainstream and not classified and categorized as different. But Kelly also helps others. And I know this Friday we have the Tim Tebow Foundation prom that she's going to, the night to shine. We've been part of Tim Tebow's network for, oh my God, like 7, 8 years now. Tim has done so much to inspire. That night to shine prom has grown. I've done a lot of work with Tim. I consider him a brother in Christ, and Tim has done so much to inspire Kelly. And Friday night, uh, I think we're in 500 plus churches around the country. Night to shine. You can look it up, and it's going to be prom king and queen. And my daughter is actually going to the prom with a gentleman named Connor Fulham. And I got to shout out Connor, because Connor is a big Jim McMahon fan. And I'm going to get him a shout out from Jim McMahon later today, because he is taking my daughter to the prom. He's the biggest Jim McMahon fan. So he could be my future son in law. So I'm rooting for it, because this kid is a wonderful gentleman. And you couldn't have it better. And he's a big sports fan. So I think me and him will be fast friends. So I'm looking forward to it.
Well,
Mike, I love it. I am so proud of you. I'm so proud of the man that you are. Your commitment to doing everything with excellence, right? You're a convener. You're always networking people to each other for good, right?
Yep.
Fiercely loyal, fiercely competitive, and fiercely giving. I can't think of three better words to describe you. I want to say thank you so much for joining us here on Radio Row. What's next for you for the rest of the week? Where are you going to be at?
Well, I'm doing a speaking competition for the NFL alumni at 4 p.m. and doing a motivational speech, and I hope I win, but just around others. And then 6 p.m. we have Top Golf at Scottsdale, kickoff of Celebrity Sweat Football. So I hope everybody can cheer me on. I am going to be playing football Saturday on RG3, and who else is our Doug Flutie's team? We are going to be competing at Grand Canyon University at 12 p.m. It'll be televised against Tracy McGrady's team. So a basketball player cannot beat the football guys, although they got Michael Irvin on their team. So I just want to get in one series at 52 years old this year against Michael Irvin and shut him down. So that's all I want to do. Get in, get out. You guys were with me last year at that other game. We played the Veterans Bowl, Snoop Dogg last year, and just being around Kurt Warner and Jeff Garcia almost broke my finger with a pass. I'm not a receiver, I was a linebacker. So I want to make sure I don't expose myself, and I'm slow now. I've had 2 ACL reconstructive surgeries, and I don't want to pop another ACL, but we have a lot of fun, and we're getting back to charitable causes the rest of the week. Lee Steinberg does phenomenal stuff, and we got our big Legends Party tomorrow night with Gronk. Just phenomenal events, and I'm playing at Jim McMahon's golf outing tomorrow. By the way, Jimmy Mack, Gridiron Greats Assistance Fund. I know you both are at the cigar party tonight, raising money for Coach Ditka, what he created, and continuing Coach Ditka's legacy. His biggest legacy is not what he did on the football field; it's for helping retired players with traumatic head injuries. So Coach Ditka is a legend. He's a Hall of Famer off the field more than he was on the field. Although he, to me, is the best tight end of all time, best coach of all time, but he's also one of the biggest humanitarians of all time, helping others. So shout out to Coach Ditka. Love him, and hopefully I'll see him soon. But we're going to be raising a lot of money for Gridiron Greats this week, which is what it's all about. So thank you, guys.
Mike, thank you for joining us. I echo Kayla's sentiment in terms of the work that you do from a father's perspective with a younger sister with a developmental disability. I know the amount of time and effort it takes to deal with the IEP issues and all of the other things that you work with your daughter. And I love one of the things you and I discussed earlier this week, which is not allowing that to be an excuse or a crutch that you use to ask for things from people all the time. And you've always been much more of a giver than a taker. You go out and support all these different causes and do everything and travel around. So we definitely appreciate all of that work that you do. We want to thank you for taking the time to come on with
If I have
us.
one last quote, Roy, sorry to interrupt you, but Chaz Palminteri, a good friend of mine, Bronx Tale. Chaz always tells me there's givers and takers, and the givers sleep better at night. So that is Chaz Palminteri, Sonny from Bronx Tale. I live by that motto, and do a lot of stuff with Chaz all year long. He looks so great at his age, and that's a quote I take every day of my life. So thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you. On behalf of Caleb Bradham, I'm Roy Kessel. We're Sports Philanthropy Network, live here from Radio Row at Super Bowl 57 in Phoenix. Thanking all of our viewers and listeners. Thanking Mike Dempsey for joining us. Please remember to live generously. Thank you.